Hello there and welcome to None of the Above. Today I wanted to sum up my 75 hard challenge and talk with you about what went well, what went wrong, what was hard for me and so on. For those of you who are unfamiliar, the 75 hard challenge is a mental toughness program created by Andy Frisella. I hope I am pronouncing this correctly. It is basically designed to test your disciplines through strict rules for 75 days straight, like 2 workouts a day, reading a non-fiction book, 10 pages a day, having 3 gallons of water, and others. So I started this journey because I wanted to push myself a bit harder and to work out the discipline through the challenge. And this is where I went wrong, and I will tell you why. So like I told you, I thought initially that the challenge will help me to put myself into a bit stricter situation and to create some kind of shadow for me to work out some discipline and to find something that will be a structure for my day. And I'm not telling you that this didn't happen, but because I didn't have as much discipline as it actually takes to have this challenge on full-on rules, I initially agreed with myself and for my mental health that I won't be doing each and every task just like it was written in the challenge. So my challenge rules was a bit different. It was actually a bit more of 75 soft challenge. So people usually refer to 75 a hard challenge as 75 soft when they change the rules, and that's exactly what I did. So first let's start with the good things. Even though I didn't tick off every box every single day, there were still some really good outcomes. For one, my skin condition improved detrimentally. I don't know the sole reason why it happened, but I think that all the things that I was doing, all the activities, the workouts, the walks, drinking water, being a bit more mindful, writing gratitude journal, it all contributed so well to my skin condition. I also was so busy that I just didn't have time to skin pick, so it's actually something that I didn't expect, but I just didn't move as close to the mirror as I usually would. So now my skin condition improved very much. I had a very good progress on that, and I only actually have a few pimples, like maybe 2 or 3, and the rest of it is acne scars, so that's amazing. I also understood that I enjoy running. I never thought I would say something like this, but around week 7 or 8 I was so stressed with the situation with my parents that I was like, okay, I need to put this anger, put this whole energy somewhere, and workout at home wasn't gonna cut it. So I was like, I am going for a run. I went out, I ran like 1 kilometer and I was dying, but at the same time I was feeling so good. I pushed all of my negative energy out, and I now like running. How crazy is that? So yeah, that was something unexpected, but at the same time I was so pleased that this is something I found to be good for me and for my mental health as well. So try the things that you don't like and maybe you will like them. Research yourself to find out if something that you weren't so sure about maybe is good for you. Another big positive was that even though I wasn't perfect, I was far away from perfect, to be honest. I kept going. I showed up every single day and I did it the best I could. That resilience, even in an imperfect way, is something I'm really proud of. Whew, so nervous. Okay, now let's talk about tough parts. This challenge was definitely difficult, and there were many times where I felt like I was failing, like I wasn't doing enough. And that made me really sad. So I had plenty of days where I didn't tick off all the tasks, where I didn't have my perfect diet, where I was feeling low on energy, where I was going through something mentally that in my head I just didn't give me enough energy to deal with all that tasks and all that things that were outside of my head. I actually had one day where I was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing, Nana? This isn't the 75 hard challenge. What are you showing to people? I think it was around week 6 or 7 where my mental situation got so hard that I was like, pushing myself so much, and at the same time I didn't have the energy enough to do that, so I was breaking down. But that was also the moment I realized that I'm still there. I went through 6 weeks. 6 weeks! Like, girl, if you got that far, you cannot give up. You should never give up. The pressure of the challenge was real, and I know I didn't handle it perfectly, but I think this is why we do the challenges, to see where we should grow a bit more. And discipline and handling pressure are definitely my areas where I should put a bit more attention to. So, okay, so now let's get to the interesting things that happened during the challenge. And one interesting thing I noticed was how even when I wasn't perfect, I still saw growth. And I saw that I definitely exercised and moved my body much more than I would normally do. I definitely read much more than I would normally do. So if you don't know me, I have like 7 or even 10 different non-fiction books all about self-development and growth, and I have read 2 self-development books in my whole entire life. And these 2 books, I read them both during this challenge and started the 3rd one that I'm now actively reading. So you understand how big of a problem it was. So that was a very good thing to notice. Another interesting thing, and maybe slightly funny, during week 7, I decided to renovate my kitchen with fake tile, and I almost destroyed it. And I'm not saying like I just could have peeled it off away from it. No, the wall didn't have the tile on it, the normal tile, the real tile on it. It had only the very, very delicate coat of paint. And when I misaligned the tiles, a few, and tried to peel it off, to put it back, but aligned, it started peeling with the paint. So there were like holes, and it was so horrible and it was so scary. I got way too excited. I was working way too fast with this, and that's what was the problem with that. It was a bit of a disaster, but it was also a reminder to me that sometimes I need to slow down and not rush things. There is a lesson in there somewhere about patience and doing things right from the first time. Okay, so what did this challenge give me? It definitely gave me a lot of lessons in self-compassion. And after all this tough mental, being on the low situations, I understood that showing up and doing your best is even better. And this is something so important to learn and understand. You do not have to be perfect to make progress. I also realized how much discipline I still have to work on. I didn't nail it this time, but I definitely don't feel defeated. Even more, it made me so passionate to try it another time, and maybe to be a bit more stricter to myself, maybe to try the challenge in full power, to following this 75 hard rules in full. So maybe we'll go back to that. Maybe I will go back to that one day. Okay, so I think this is everything I wanted to share with you. That's my take on the 75 soft challenge, I guess, or at least my experience of that. So it wasn't perfect, but it was real. I did everything I could, and that's what matters. If you are thinking about trying something like this, please remember that you do not need to be perfect right away. Just show up, and even small changes can make big difference. Thank you so much for following my journey if you did. Thank you so much for watching this video or listening to this on Spotify. If you're on Spotify, go to YouTube and check out my new bed set from IKEA. If you're watching me on YouTube, thank you so much for watching, and go check out my podcast on Spotify if you prefer to listen to such kind of conversational videos. Sometimes everything you got is everything you need. Thank you so much again for watching and listening. I love you all. Bye!